Blessings and peace to you. This is Sbfavorthinking podcast, and my name is Sbfavor. How are you doing today? It is Saturday, September 2nd, 2023. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. We are live today, me and Jackie Draper, and we're just going to talk about life changing situations. But before we get into it, I would like to say to you, if you are out there traveling about today, make sure you're keeping yourself safe. Use your hand sanitizer and make sure if you need to wear your mask, because look, people are still becoming ill, and from what I heard, COVID is still circulating and there are some things still going on. So please keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App $SB or you can give at Venmo at SB Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App $SB or Venmo at SB. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. How are you doing today, Jackie?
Wonderful. I'm having a wonderful day. How about you?
Awesome. Yes. I'm good. I'm very good. I'm thankful. This week was a long week, but I'm here and all is well. All is well. So how's your Saturday so far?
Oh, so far it's been really good. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
Today's really the first sunny day that we've had. We had
Hmm.
you're talking about a long week. We had a hurricane this week. So,
Yeah.
Idalia and
Hmm.
yeah, so we had a good week. There was no damage, a lot of flooding, but no damage for myself or any of my immediate family and friends. But we had a lot of flooding in Tampa.
Oh, well, that's good
Yeah.
that all is well.
Yes.
We are coming to you people live today. So if you hear some echoing or some clicking of some sort, just please understand that this is a live recording and we are doing the best we can. So we just decided to make it happen today, and this is what we have to do to press forward. So life changing situations, Jackie. This is the topic today, and we decided to talk about this topic because all around us, every single day, there are events and news reports and things that are happening that are changing lives. Some things for the better and some things for the worse, unfortunately. And so we have to be mindful not to be distracted because of what is happening around us every single day. Life changing situations can help us to be better people. It can help us to grow. It can help us to evaluate the things that we need to change. And sometimes life changing situations could be painful. What do you think, Jackie, about that?
Absolutely, they can be painful. I think that
Mhm,
a lot of times we have a bunch of small things happen right in a row or right at the same time where
mhm.
individually they are nothing, that we can handle them easily, they don't change your life. But when you have to deal with a whole bunch of things at one time, sometimes that's what happened to me but last year, but it's just it can be overwhelming and it can cause a life-changing state of being.
Yeah. Life is happening constantly all around us every single day. One of the things my mom used to always say, she would say, you never know what's going to happen in a day. And when she said that to me, it just made me think, I should not project anything negative to happen, but I should always be mindful of how life can change. You know, there are so many different types of distractions all around us. And sadly, Jackie, a lot of people are just focused on cars, money, houses, and traveling. They're focused on the wrong things. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying the fruits of your labor. There's nothing wrong with enjoying success and sharing that success and doing all the things to enjoy life. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with achieving goals and just enjoying life. But at some point, when and how will we stay focused on what really matters if we are not focused on it, being distracted by all the things that are happening in life? We have to have some type of focus daily on the things that help us to be more focused versus the things that make us distracted. What you think, Jackie?
Well, I think it depends what we're. I think it's relative, though.
Mhm.
Sometimes things that distract us are important.
Mm, you think they're important? Hmm.
Well, some things I think that sometimes you need distractions. I think if you focus constantly on um well, like for instance, if you're a single parent and you just have your kids and you're just constantly focused on working and raising your kids,
Hmm.
I think you need to readjust because I don't think you're going to be the best parent. You're not going to be the best coworker. You're not going to be the best at your life if you
Hmm.
are just have tunnel vision on your things and you're not doing things that inspire you or
Hmm.
that relax you.
Well, when I talk about being focused, I guess I should have explained it a little bit more.
Hmm.
Being focused, when I say that, I'm talking about being focused on the things to help you to be a better person, being
Oh,
focused on the things to help you to know what is needful versus the things that are not needful. Because there's so many distractions around us. For an example, when you wake up in the morning and you start your day, and if you one of those people when you pick up your phone and you're just focused on social media all day long and you're not paying attention to what is happening in your environment, that's distraction. If you're one
right.
of those people, if you're one of those people that when you wake up in the morning, you're focused on the news on the television screen versus trying to project or pan out your day so that you could be focused on the things that help you to be the best person you can be, then that means you're distracted. Being distracted comes in many, many, many different forms. And unfortunately, sometimes people just think that, oh, well, I got problems, so let me just do the next thing to get my mind off the problem. But when
Oh,
you have a
right.
problem, when you have a problem, sometimes you have to be focused on this. No, not sometimes, all the time. You have to be focused on the solution. You have to be focused on the things that help you to be better when you have a problem. But
Right.
if
Yes,
you,
I
hmm
agree. So you can
that's what I'm
solve your
talking about.
problem and then move on.
Yeah, solve your problem and move on, and just having a daily focus on the things that help you to be better. It's important. It's important every single day. And I'm not talking about walking around acting like some kind of robot or soldier. I'm not talking about that.
That's what I first pictured when you
I
said that. That's what popped into my head. I'm like, that don't sound like fun.
No, no, no. That's why I said you can enjoy your life. That's why I said that in the beginning. You can enjoy your life. You can have a good time. You can do your little party thing, whatever it is you do. But at some point in the midst of all of your fun, and at some point in the midst of everything that's going on around you and everything that you enjoy, you have to have some type of focus. I'm going to give you another example of what I'm talking about. I was in Mexico with a group of friends, right?
Uh-huh.
And we were in this club, and this club in Mexico was it's called Coco Bongo, right? And
Sounds fun.
we so we were in this club having a good time. I mean, we were just we were having our little drinks and we were just dancing and we were just having so much fun just being, in Mexico on vacation. And so as the night went on, while we were in the club, it was getting late, and someone spilled a drink on me, and I had on white, right? So someone
Oh.
spilled the drink on me, and the drink was like a red color. So now my clothes is red because I got on white, but it was okay because I wiped myself off, and I did what I had to do. I had to do to stay focused. So in that moment when this individual spilled a drink on me, something in me said, "Stay focused." Right? It was almost like a voice that I heard, and it was a voice that I heard, and I felt like that voice was God, right? And so of course we kept having fun doing what we were doing, and then as the night went on, I started feeling like we should leave immediately at some point, and and I didn't feel like we were in any type of danger or anything, but I just felt like something in me was like, okay, it's time to go. Long story short, we um we left the club, and as we were leaving, I just saw people looking as if there was just something. I just felt like there was some type of bad vibe, or so, like something was going to happen, so to speak. And so in that moment, I just felt like, okay, I need to stay focused because one, we're in another country. Two, we all been drinking. Three, we need to get back to the resort safely. So what I'm saying to you is, no matter where you are and what you're doing, and if you're having fun with your friends, if you're out, just eating dinner or whatever, we all should have some type of focus. And that doesn't mean walking around acting like a robot, but it means to have a focus, to know what is to know what is going on, and each day having a focus to be a better person. So because life is constantly changing, and with everything that is going on, if we're not focused, then how can we know how to adjust to life changing situations? And I'm not saying that just because you're focused all the time that you're going to just know what to do when something happens, but at least when you are focused and not distracted, I believe that you can adapt better to situations and circumstances that change life. What do you think about that?
I agree. And I think that it sounds like you're talking about, being in control of your aware of your environment, being in control
Mm-hmm.
of your emotions. Like
Mm-hmm.
you told yourself, do not emotionally react to this person spilling their drink on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Be in
Mm-hmm.
control of all of
Mm-hmm.
your situations because you never know when something's going to happen that could be life changing, and you need to be aware of it.
Yeah, and we were over in another country, and I just felt like in that
Right.
moment there was a lot going on around us, and I said, "Wait a minute, I
Right.
need to be focused here because this is too much." I mean, would it be right to be in another country just drinking, distracted, not paying attention, and just doing anything and everything just because we're on vacation? Does that make sense?
Well,
No.
I would say probably 60% of Americans that go to Mexico are not
Yeah.
paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
And yep. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Honestly, I do not blame you at all. In the 90s, I lived in LA, and a lot of my friends would go to Mexico
Hmm.
for the weekend. And at that time, there was always on the news that Americans were being kidnapped or arrested because they wanted um, money,
Oh my
like
God.
ransom money or your bail money. And I'm like, no. I was like, my family don't have no money to bail me out or pay no ransom. I'm not even gonna go. I'm not even gonna put myself in that
Yeah.
position.
See, it's
They'd be going,
that's
yeah,
what I'm
sorry
talking
about your
about.
luck. You're gonna have to leave her
Yeah,
there.
that's what I'm talking about.
Tell her we love her.
Not being distracted. Yeah, not
Yeah.
being distracted because and when I say not being distracted, I'm talking about just everyday situations. You might not be in Mexico. You could be anywhere. Some people are so distracted that they are out in the public on their phones constantly and things are happening around them and they are so distracted they're not even paying attention at all to what's going on. So, but how to adjust to life changing situations. How do we adjust to life changing situations? How do you adjust to life changing situations, Jackie?
Well, I try not to cry. I was
You
joking.
try not,
Well, I don't know. It
you
depends on
try
the
not to
situation.
cry.
I hope that I hope
Yeah,
I
yeah,
adjust rationally and with as little emotion
yeah.
as possible so that I can be logical.
Hmm.
But sometimes things are overwhelming
Hmm.
and you get carried away. It happens.
Yeah. Yeah, things can be a little bit much sometimes, you know. A life-changing situation for me was when my mom passed, and I always talk
Mm-hmm.
about this as I told you many times. That was a life-changing situation because I had to adjust to a new way of living for the first time in my life. And it was pretty deep. It was so deep because it was the timing of which in which she passed. You know, she passed um a week before my daughter was scheduled to be married. And so it was pretty wild, Jackie. I mean, it was wild. Only thing I could say for myself at that time was to pray. I told myself to pray. I kept telling myself, pray, 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 stay focused and pray. So in life changing situations, that's the first thing that I do is I pray and I tell myself to stay focused. And you mentioned a minute ago, you try not to cry, you try not to, you know, be too emotional. Well, sometimes we can't prevent that, but we can tell ourselves to have some level of control, right? Some level of control because it's necessary. You know, I was talking to someone yesterday, and this individual told me, she said, I had to talk to myself constantly so that I would not be out of control in the midst of a life changing situation. And so I said, yeah, yeah, that's what we have to do. We have to, like I said, we
I
have
have
to
to
have a
talk to myself
focus.
just to
I
get
think
through the
that,
day.
yeah, me too.
Just an ordinary day.
Yeah, me too. That's real. Yeah, that's very
Yes.
real. Me too. I meditate a lot throughout the day. I meditate. I think meditating when I have a moment by myself, it helps me to be sharper in terms of just being alert when it comes to my feelings, when it comes to what I think. So yeah, I do that a lot throughout the day.
Well, I
Now, if
handle
I'm
I
really, mhm,
I was just
go
gonna say
ahead.
I handle things differently depending on what the situation is. Also, if
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
a if it's a work situation, I'm able to just go right at it and not make another and not be emotional about it. Not I can think logically and go on and take care of it. And
Hmm.
when it comes to my children, I can do the exact same thing. When my son was diagnosed with autism when he was 3 years old,
Hmm.
I didn't skip a beat. Everything was I handled everything just fine. But
Hmm.
different things, like when my dog died, I
Hmm.
lost it completely.
Really? Oh
Yes,
wow,
I lost it. But
wow,
for me,
wow. That's
losing
deep.
it is I internalize everything.
Hmm.
For me,
Hmm.
losing it, I told only one person about my dog dying. My own
Mm.
sister found out about it because she saw my son posted it on Instagram. My
Hmm.
sister called me and she was like, "You didn't tell me Ammo died. What happened?" And I was like, "Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah." I
Wow.
just
That's pretty deep.
whenever when something goes wrong for
Mhm.
me, I internalize everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
do the
shut
same
down.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. I do the same thing. I don't shut down completely, but I just take a minute to be to myself. I take inventory of what I need to do, and I examine what is happening around me, how I feel, how I think, and I try to make an adjustment. If something is if it feels overwhelming to me, I just
Mm-hmm.
try to make an adjustment, and I pray and I stay focused by just taking it one day at a time, because if I'm thinking about something in another month or 2 weeks, that's not going to help me. I think
Right.
the moment that I'm living in right now, like in this very moment, this very day, I would stay focused on what I need in the moment. And tomorrow, I'll get to that when I get to it. I have to focus on what is necessary to get through this day. And so when my mom passed, that's how I was able to stay focused. I kept telling myself, okay, I have to stay focused in the moment to get through each hour, each minute, each just each hour, each minute, and just go forward from there. I couldn't even think to myself, oh, what's going to happen in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month. I had to focus on the moment to just proceed ahead, to feel
Right.
better. Yeah. And I still do that now. In fact, um, next week, which will be the 7th, I think it's Thursday of next week, will
Thursday.
be 2 years. Yeah, two years that it's been that she's been going. 2 years.
Mm. Wow.
And it, yeah, and it doesn't feel like 2 years.
No, it
It
doesn't.
doesn't feel like 2 years. It feels like it just happened, but it's not as painful. That's the difference. When it just happened, it was the I could feel the physical pain of it. The physical pain in my emotions, the physical
Mm-hmm.
pain in my body, because it was a physical pain, to me. But now it's light. The pain is lighter, but my mindset and my spirit is like, did this really happen? She's not here. Did this really happen? So it's kind of weird, and I guess maybe that's a coping mechanism. Not sure, but it um it comes to me sometimes to think that, okay, she's gone. I tell myself, you know, and then I find myself thinking about her laugh, the laughter, or the music we danced to, the food we ate, the conversations we had, things like that. And
And
so,
that helps
but
you get through it. That helps you.
it, yeah, it helps me to get through. It helps me to feel better. It's comforting. Um, yeah, it just helps me to just keep moving forward, because I told myself to adjust to that life changing situation. I told myself I have to let her go. I have to let her
Mm-hmm.
go. And when I say let go, I'm talking about release her to God, meaning like she's with God. That's my belief, that she's with God. And when you release something, when you let go of something, it doesn't mean that you don't care. It doesn't mean that you're letting go because you want to let go. You're letting go because you have to let go. You have to let go in order to live. I always tell people, when you're grieving someone, you have to let go in order to live, because if you don't let go, then you will keep holding on to something that no longer is. You can still celebrate and embrace that person in your heart and in your spirit, but to appropriately and in a healthy way deal with that life changing situation, you have to let that person go. When my father died, um, I took him after he passed. my father wanted to be cremated, so I took him to be cremated. Right? We had a funeral, but after the funeral, he wanted to be, he told me he wanted to be cremated, so I took him to be cremated. And in that moment, before his remains was gone, I told myself I have to let him go. And then through prayer, I felt like God was telling me, let him go. Let him go. It doesn't mean you're you're getting rid of someone, or you don't want to hold on. It means you have to let them go in order to live. But
But
uh, go ahead. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, did you need God to tell you to let go? Your logical mind didn't tell you you gotta let go. I mean, these are things
Yes, I
you
did.
know inherently,
Yeah.
that you have to
No,
let people go.
no, you
I was
you
just,
don't. There are
it
things.
didn't.
There are things that I'm gonna say this to you in all humility.
Uh-huh.
You could be the smartest person on this earth, but there
Mhm.
are things that your human mind cannot conceive until you receive the help to conceive it in your spirit. And that only comes from God. And I say your human
Right.
mind because life situations can drag you to the point where you think you got it going on and you think you know something, but then when you get to that place where you thought you had it all together, you find out you didn't have it together at all. And
Oh,
so
I've
when
definitely
God
experienced that. Yeah.
that's right. So when God comes in, God is our helper, whether you believe it or not. Okay, I'm gonna say it like that. God is our helper, and he doesn't need you to even ask him for the help. Sometimes he will help people even when they don't ask him for the help. Why? Because he sees that we are so fragile. See, because some of us think we got it going on because I got to say it like I know to say it, Jackie. Some of us think we
Mhm.
got it going on because of our education, because of our money, because of the life that we live. Some of us think we got it going on. But see, the frailty of our humanity says we need God. So through a life-changing situation where you think you got it going on, that person that is thinking they have it all together, when something happens, they could literally lose their mind. So when God comes on the scene and help you, then that humbles you to see God is helping me do this. So yes, God, he brought me back to myself to remember logically. Of course, yes, in my spirit, Shrey, you have to let go. But
Right.
that frail part of me that couldn't think rationally, that couldn't think in a sharp way through my pain. I couldn't think of that at the time, but because God is our help, He comes in when we think we know, we don't know. He comes in and He helps us. So
Yeah.
this applies to, I don't care what kind of background you come from. I don't care if you got $50 million in the bank. When something happens in your life and there's a life changing situation, you could be the sharpest, most smartest person ever. But when something happens to change your course of life, it changes you in that moment. And in your pain, you will not be the sharpest and smartest person in your pain, Jackie. That's my point.
No, yes. Oh, God,
You
I know
know?
that for sure. I've definitely lived that. But I mean, I have
Yeah,
moments of lucidity where I'm telling myself, stop
yeah,
behaving this way. I'm not saying I
of
listen to
course.
myself,
Right,
but I do know that I'm
right.
acting,
Uh-huh.
that I would be better off. Well, I mean, any situation like you're talking about, life changing situation, you could lose a job, you
Mm-hmm.
could, lose a relationship, a marriage, what
Mm-hmm.
have you,
Mm-hmm.
a pet. You,
Mm-hmm.
your instinct is, if you didn't want to lose this, is to hold on,
Mm-hmm.
because your heart feels
Yeah,
like it's going to hurt more
yeah.
if I let go. It's going to hurt more if I let go. I have to hold on. I have to hold on. And then eventually you
Mm-hmm.
hold on so tightly that it's the holding on that hurts, not the letting go. But we don't see that in the moment. So we hold on
We
tighter and
don't.
tighter and tighter, even though this is not, you're living in a limbo like space,
Exactly.
because you don't have the
Mhm.
past anymore. And
Right.
it's not what you don't have the past that you wanted anymore, but you still won't let the
Mhm.
past go. And in order to live in the future, you
That's
have to
right.
let the past go.
You have to let the past go.
So
Our
yeah, so it's
human,
your choice on how long that
yeah,
limbo space is going to last.
exactly. Because our human instinct is to hold on, right? We want to
Yes.
hold on to what was. We want to hold on to keep what helps us to feel good, right? And many of us,
Right.
even when it comes to romantic relationships, people will literally hold on to someone that doesn't even want them. Now, tell me
Yeah,
how
I
does
know
that
that.
make sense?
I know exactly, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, wait.
It uh uh a marriage or relationship is a life-changing situation, and a person can literally hold on to another person that does not even want them,
That is true.
and
They
they're
can.
they're they're doing themselves more harm to hold on versus to let go, right?
Right?
So because when you let go, then you can start healing, then the
Right.
newness starts to come, then you are being replenished from something old to something new. And in that moment, when we are in pain, people don't see that, Jackie. We
Right.
don't people None of us have the capacity to actually be our best selves or see the right way or hear the right way when we are in pain.
Right.
So life changing situations, it is a mandate that we pray, is a mandate that we seek God. And for those that don't know God, it's all right. And I say it's all right because in that moment, He will seek you so that you can seek Him. Yes, He will. Because, like I said a minute ago, some of us have not even asked God for help, but He's still helping you even when you haven't even asked Him to. Because
Right.
that's just how God is. And I know there's somebody somewhere all the time that might not even agree with what I'm saying, and that is okay because we all have different life experiences. But I'll say this: keep living and you will live and experience what I'm talking about. That God will help you even when you didn't even ask for the help, because you know all of us have gone through different situations in our lives, and we question, well, how did I make it through that? I didn't even pray, but I still made it. You didn't make it because you had this big strong human strength. You made it because God helped you through it. And that's just the honest truth, because when life changing situations happen, we could just fall apart, Jackie. And we
Oh,
see it all the
absolutely.
time. Yeah, we see it all the time. People going through things, and we see other people that have gone through bad situations, and they say, oh well, God is helping me. There was a woman, she was in an accident somewhere in the Midwest, and she was on some type of ferry ride. This happened, I guess, probably about 6, 7 years ago. She was on this ferry ride, and her entire family died. It was about 7 people from her family on this
Oh,
ferry
wow.
ride. They were out having a good day, and they all died. Her husband, her children, her mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law. 7 of them died. She was the only one out of all of them that didn't pass, right? And the news reporter asked her a question because they went to the hospital to interview her. I don't know her name, but the reporter said, how do you have the strength in this moment to even speak? And she said, I'm I'm here and I'm able to say what I'm saying. She said, because I know in my heart that God has given me this strength, and I have to say this so that I can help somebody else to know that God is giving me this strength. And the whole room just got quiet when she said that. the whole room just got quiet. And I know somebody there was probably like, I don't want to hear about no God.
Well, I think that
It's always somebody, right? Hmm. Go
in
ahead.
a lot of our situations where we've maybe made poor choices to get in the
Mhm.
situation, we can look back and reflect and see where God or the universe had shown us the right choice to make and we chose to do it wrong anyway. I think
Hmm. Hmm.
we are being guided
True.
constantly on our
Yes.
choices to make and what to do and how to get through
Hmm.
things. And a lot of times we don't like what God suggests we do. And so we do what we want to do and then it ends up being wrong. And I
Yeah,
think
I
a lot
mean,
of the
we
times
yeah, we yeah.
that I've made,
Hmm.
I haven't made
That's
like
true.
colossal poor choices like some
We
people have, but I know that whenever I've made choices
we all
that I had to go
have
back and
done things.
change, I knew in the
Everyone is
moment
guided.
not to do it.
Hmm.
Right.
Everyone is guided differently, and yeah. But through life changing situations, I must say some situations we can easily adjust. Some situations we can grow through. And some situations, look, we need God, and that's just real talk. That's not a religious cliche statement. That's real because we're living in an hour. Look at society, and I'm not being pessimistic or negative. I'm just being realistic. When you look at society today, it changed. Life forever. A lot of people passed away. A lot of things happened, good and bad. And the months and the years to come, we don't know what's going to happen. But through life changing situations, no matter what it is, if you are focused every single day, and if you one of those people that pray and you are about your business to just stay focused, you will know what to do. You will know what to do through a life-changing situation that may not be good. You will know how to navigate through the situation. You will know how to protect and help your family, because this time that we're living in, Jackie, let me tell you something. We don't know what's about to happen. It's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes when it comes to just the world in general. And when I say behind the scenes, I'm talking about just the powers that be. You know, um, we don't know everything that's going on. And like I said, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just being realistic.
Right.
Um,
Oh, I agree.
because in this hour, um, we need God. And I'm not saying that religiously. I'm saying that in a relationship. I'm saying that to encourage you to have a relationship with God, because He is our hope. And I know, like I said, Jackie, some people, they don't want to hear it. They don't believe in it. And I would never force anybody to believe something they don't want to believe. But I can say that this world's in trouble. And the more we are distracted with social media and houses, cars, and money, that's not going to sustain us. That's not going to sustain us in this hour, because it didn't sustain us during COVID. People still died. People still lost money. People lost their businesses. They haven't gotten back. So what I'm saying is, in the days to come, in the weeks to come, the months to come, we have to be focused, because there are going to be a lot of life changing situations. And the only one that's going to help us through those life changing situations is God. However you pray and however you seek God, that's between you and Him. I would never tell anybody what to do, because that's none of my business. But I can say that we are living in a serious hour, and it's it's going to get worse. That's just reality. And and during this time, the more focused we are, the better off we will be. And when I say focus, I'm talking about focused on God, focused on being the best person you could be, focused on protecting your family, focused on doing the things that are needful and not doing the things that are not needful. Because being distracted is an enemy. It is an enemy. And so we have to be focused. Enjoying your life, enjoying the fruits of your labor, it's a beautiful thing. But we still have to deal with reality. So, but I don't want to be long winded about that, Jackie. You understand what I'm saying, right?
I do, but it's definitely a little scarier the way you're talking about it.
No, we don't have to perceive it that way. We don't have to perceive. We don't have to perceive it that way
I'm
because
like,
look,
we're done here.
we
I want to be
don't.
researching doomsday survival.
No, we don't have to perceive it that way. We just have to live a life without. We have to live a life and stop being distracted on the things that are not needful. We have
Yeah.
to live a life that is focused. We have to. I mean, there are some people, Jackie, they are so filled with me and mine every single day, me and mine every day, money, house, car. But then the whole ceiling can fall out down the street from them and they could care less. That's just an example. You know,
Right.
all that happened in Maui, all that look what happened
Right.
over
Well,
there
I mean,
to all
I
those
do
that
get it.
entire
And,
community.
like, because on
Hmm.
social media, like, I follow these people that they clean out their refrigerator. It's just the weirdest thing, right? I follow people.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
watch them. I sit there and watch on social media them pull everything out of the refrigerator and then rebottle everything out of the bottle it came in, pour it into a different pitcher. The juice no longer in the plastic pitcher. And
Why?
I just feel like, I don't know. I watch it in amazement, thinking, why did this person think this is necessary and to film it? And then why am I sitting here watching this stupid thing? I had that experience this morning.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you watching it? Yes,
And then she goes,
exactly.
and then she and then
Exactly.
she makes this comment that, oh, that Costco haul just filled up the refrigerator and emptied my husband's bank account. And I was like, oh my gosh. What?
Wow.
She can't even afford all this
Yeah,
crap she just bought at Costco and refilled the refrigerator with.
that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, but
Well,
I see that, when you're saying distraction by things that don't matter, that's what I
mhm.
think of, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that and it could be other things as well. I mean, so many different things. Um, think about the times when you were in your 20s and you just wanted to have a good time and go out and act crazy and all of us in our 20s, we were distracted. We wasn't thinking about life in a serious way. We wasn't thinking about, well, I can't say that I wasn't. I was always thinking about life in a serious way. Um at different points, that is. But the average young person is not thinking about life in terms of most young people, I would say, are not thinking about life in a serious way. They're just looking at, okay, well, let me think about buying the next car. Let me think about buying the next house. And let me do this. Let me do that. This thought process of let me just have a good time. But
Right.
like I said, it's nothing wrong with having a good time. There's nothing wrong with achieving goals. There's nothing wrong with none of that. But at what point will you think about the things that are really important? Having a focus on making sure that you get through this day with the right attitude, the right mindset, the right thoughts, you treat people well, having some kind of relationship with God, having some kind of prayer life, having some type of life where you feed yourself spiritually, having some type of life, to maintenance your thought life and maintenance what's really important in your life versus wearing Gucci. because wearing a Gucci shoe or Gucci jacket is not going to help you when the whole sky cracks open. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not trying to sound um
Doomsday-ish.
no, I'm not trying to sound like that. I'm just saying it like in a way so that people can understand what I'm saying. We should have a focus. Like another conversation I was having with a friend of mine yesterday. We were talking about interest rates. She was saying, "Oh, straight interest rates are going up, and buying a house is going to be more difficult." I said, "Not for me. I don't care if the interest rate goes to 11,000. Guess what? I have faith. I have faith in myself. I have faith in God. That no matter what the economy is, or no matter what recession or interest rate, you can still have what you want. You know. So the media shapes people's minds. There's certain things like, oh, the interest rate is going up, and it's just going to be so hard to buy a house. It's just going to be so hard. Well, then guess what? Make the money that match the interest rate. I mean, come on. Don't have your mind shaped according to a system that tells you can't do something, or don't have your mind shaped according to a system that makes you think that you have to live beneath and not above. So that's my point. Having a focus and not allowing yourself to be shaped by what's going on around you, not allowing your mind to be shaped by the media, not allowing your mind to be shaped by situations and circumstances, but most importantly, having a relationship with God, having hope, having a vision and a direction for your life that breeds more hope, and not according to the conditions and the craziness of this world. That to the point where no matter what happens, you know that you're going to be all right because you are with God. That's my focus. And I'm not telling other people to think like me, but I'm saying personally, that is my focus. Some people said, when there was a recession back in 2009, they said, "Oh, did you lose money? Did you go through something?" I said, "No, nothing happened. I didn't go through anything when there was a recession." "Well, I went through this and I lost money and I experienced this." I said, "I didn't participate in the recession." I'm sorry you did.
Well, I participated in that recession. I can tell you
well,
that.
well, I
I
didn't
had a house
participate.
that
I
had a
was
short
fine.
sale, so yeah, I participated in it. And my side business went kaput.
Yeah, I
But
mean, yeah, I mean, and
fortunately,
I
I
get
had
what you're
a full
saying.
time job though. I
Yeah,
had my
yeah,
own job too, but my little side
yeah.
gig went kaput.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Things happen, but all in all, you were still fine. You were still good. That's my point. You
Yes.
didn't
All in
allow it,
all, I
right?
was
So
still
that's
good.
exactly.
And and it was a difficult time,
Mhm.
but I came
Mhm.
out the other end of it just fine.
Yeah,
But that's the
exactly. And
point
so that's
is
my
when you
point.
go through a
That's the
difficult
point.
time like that,
Mhm.
and
That's the point of it all.
that's the
Mhm.
point of the conversation is that when you do go through
Yep.
life-changing times like that, like I had
Mhm.
short sale my house, and
Mhm.
is to is to be able
Mhm.
to recover from it and not let it overwhelm you and not let it put you in a position that you can't climb out of. You can't blame the rest of your life on a recession that happened in
Exactly.
2009 because, oh well, this what was me, this happened
Exactly.
and I just couldn't recover from it.
Exactly. And that's my point. And when you have a focus, you can always recover. When you have a focus on God, when you have a focus on the things that are necessary for you to be better, no matter what happens, you're going to always be better, no matter what happens. And that's why when a friend of mine said, "Oh, the interest rate is going to be so high, certain people are never going to be able to do that," I said, "No, that doesn't apply. The interest rate can be what it's going to be, but that doesn't mean you still can't accomplish what you want to accomplish."
Right. You have to take
Right?
control of the things you can control. The
That's
average,
right.
we as individuals cannot control the interest rate. We
Mm-hmm.
don't run the
Mm-hmm.
Fed. That's not within the realm of the things I can control. The things that I can control, I need to be in control of.
Exactly.
And the
Exactly.
number
And
one thing
so,
I can control is me.
Mm-hmm.
how I respond to
Yep.
things, how I react, and how I recover when things bring me down.
Exactly. And that all comes from having a focus to deal with life changing situations. And that is the point of everything that we have discussed,
Right.
Jackie. It's
Well,
about living a
yes.
life to be focused every single day, no matter if you're up, if you're down, you will receive the help from God, but you can be better than you were before when you have a focus through life changing situations. And life changing situations could be, it could be something negative or positive, because even when it's positive, you still got to have a focus,
Right.
because when it's positive, Jackie, guess what? Pride can be a big blind spot to make you blind to
Right.
something that you can't even see, because a person that has everything happening in a positive way could just say to themselves, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm better now. I'm perfect now. I'm perfect." No, no, you're not. Because when everything's going right, that's when a person can be blind the most, distracted.
True. Absolutely. Now,
Hmm.
when we were talking about the 2009, things were not going as great for me.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
during that time, I've told you about this specific thing before. I had a lot going on, and all
Hmm.
I could think of is I want to find peace. I want to find peace. And I would
Hmm.
go to church, and I would go to this Buddhist temple on Wednesdays, and I would read every book I could get my hands on, and
Hmm.
because I was looking for peace and searching for peace. And then I found faith. And once I found
Hmm.
faith, I suddenly was peaceful. So
Wow.
it it's not the peace that I was searching for, it was the faith that I
Hmm.
was searching for. And once you when you literally have faith, you are able to
Hmm.
let go of the things that weigh you down.
Yeah,
And in
absolutely.
those situations that are life changing, where, you know, I myself had two incomes, and then suddenly I had one income. I could no longer afford my inflated
Hmm. Hmm.
mortgage, and my marriage was falling apart, and all kinds of things were going on. And I didn't have faith at that time. I all At that
Wow.
moment I was in a panic. And I was going to church. I was Catholic. I was going to church, and I
Hmm.
so I had this false sense of faith. But
Hmm.
a true faith is feeling safe when you let go.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because
Yes,
when
well
you
said.
you can go to church every Sunday, and still, if you don't feel safe letting go, then you don't have faith.
Exactly. Yes. And that comes from having a focus.
Yes, and having a relationship with
Hmm.
God or the
Yep.
universe or whatever your higher power is, source.
Yep. That's it. Your focus every single day it's going to it's going to help you to be better than you were yesterday. Your relationship with God is going to help you to be better than you were yesterday. Your focus on things that are needful and not the things that are not needful. Because focused on all the wrong things will have all of us distracted and blind to the things that we do need. So, on that note, Jackie, we are going to conclude this topic.
All right.
Thank you for your participation, and I hope that we can go live more often here on YouTube, because I think it's necessary for us to do this as often as we can. We are still working out the technical stuff, so we will be on video, but right now we're gonna just keep going forward doing what we know to do. And so, listeners, thank you for tuning in to SB Favor Thinking podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and or X, not Twitter. Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. You can find me there at sbfavor. Uh, Click like here on YouTube, leave me some feedback, and subscribe to this channel. And once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB or you can give at Venmo SB Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB or you can give at Venmo SB. Thank you so much for tuning in. And make sure you share this podcast with others. I thank you so much for your support. You have a good day.